All right, what is up, Utes fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. And signing day has come and gone. The Utes have picked up a star studded class, their best class all time, an awesome recruiting class stacked with 4 stars, a bunch of playmakers head to toe. Honestly, this is a generational type of class for Utah. Best ever. Like I said, it's the number 21 overall recruiting class in the country according to 24/7 Sports. So a huge get for Utah, and we're going to break down every single player that signed today. I'm going to tell you guys a little more info about them. We'll talk about them a little more. But if you guys hear a player today that you guys really like, just be aware that I made recruiting videos on almost every single one of these guys. So go ahead and jump onto the YouTube page when you're done watching the video. If you guys want to see some highlights and watch me break down the tape and talk a little more about any of these players, it'll be on the YouTube page. Check them out. Outside of that, though, make sure you guys like the video. It'll go a long way in helping get it out to more Utes fans. Also, make sure you guys comment below who is your favorite player in the 2023 recruiting class. There's a bunch of great ones and a bunch of guys I'm really excited to talk about. And then outside of that, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got more transfers coming down the pipe. I don't know if you guys heard the press conference today with Kyle Whittingham, but he said that we have 3 transfers. We've only had 2 official announcements from 2 transfers. That's got to lead you to believe that there's a 3rd transfer coming down the pipe, and I guarantee you, once that announcement gets made officially, that I'm gonna be talking about it. And Xavier Guillory is announcing his commitment on Friday. He might just be becoming a Ute. Who knows? But outside of that, let's go ahead and dive into all these players and let's talk about them. We'll start with Mac Howard. All right, and here he is, guys, our quarterback for this recruiting class, Mac Howard. So Mac Howard's a guy that has a really nice arm, can really sling the ball down the field. A player I liked a lot when I watched the tape. I think one thing that gets overlooked a little with Mac Howard is he really can run the ball. He is quite athletic. You see him make some plays on the tape with his legs and some big breakaway scores. You can look here as a junior. He had 47 passing touchdowns and 6 rushing touchdowns. Kind of a down senior year for him, only passing for 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns. But still, the junior year was so impressive. And he transferred schools. So, there could have been a bit of an adjustment period there. But the kid can throw the rock. He can run the rock. He has a ton of upside. There's still, some tools to work on with Mac Howard, but a guy I'm really excited about, number 20 player in Mississippi, and should be an awesome addition to the Utah QB room. I mean, that room is getting stacked with talent. Whoever comes out as the starter next year, if Cam Rising doesn't come back, is going to be quite a good player. That's Mac Howard for you. All right, guys, and here is Dadrin Zipper. This is a big time playmaker in this kid. Now, you look at the yards, they're nothing crazy when he was in high school, but don't let it fool you. If you guys get an opportunity to watch the film breakdown I did on Dadrin, you guys will see why I think he's going to be a great playmaker. He's very athletic, he's a fast guy. Also, you can see here he had a 75-yard touchdown pass. He runs the ball, he catches the ball, but more than anything, what impressed me when I watched this guy's tape is his ability to go up and make contested catches. There were multiple plays on his highlight reel where the QB throws it up to him. So one, he's got the QB's trust, but 2, he's got the QB's trust for a reason. So he's running downfield full sprint, and there's 2, the corners on him just a little ways behind him, and the safety's just a little over the top, and he just reaches out and plucks the ball out of the air and makes the play. The kid's a playmaker, another great addition to this wide receiver room. It's a young room, but there's so much talent brewing there that it's eventually just going to explode, man. And Dadrin Zipper adds a lot. He's going to go in there and compete. Reminds me a lot of a Chris Reed from last year, a guy that, really makes nice plays when the ball's in the air. And this next guy is one of my favorites of the whole class is Dijon Duty Stanley. This kid is awesome. You can see here it says he's ranked as a 3-star by 24/7 Sports, but that is no longer the case. He is actually ranked as a 4-star even by 24/7 Sports. And Let me tell you about this kid. I actually had the opportunity to have Dijon Stanley come on the YouTube channel, do a little interview with me. It was awesome. And you guys go watch that video. If you guys like him, go watch the video. He is an awesome kid. He seems like a real smart kid, real humble, real, pleasant to talk to, really good guy. But on the field, he's a damn playmaker, dude. This guy, if he finds a hole, he is going to take it and he is going to go. He is very fast. He looks big on the field, right? I think it's got him listed here at 6 foot 170, but he looks all of it. And he's not a skinny 170. I mean, he's slim, but he's real toned and ready to go, dude. He's got a big frame that he can bulk up a lot, man. If you guys aren't familiar with him already, you should be. The guy played on an offense. You might have seen these videos circulating the internet that didn't pass the ball at all. They didn't throw the ball at all. They just ran the ball, and I believe they might have won the state championship. I think they did win the state champion. Okay, uh, 2022 state runner up. So they lost the state championship game, but heck of a team, dude, and heck of a kid, man. I'm excited. He's one of three four-star running backs coming into this class, and we'll talk about the other ones here in a minute. But that's Dijon Duty Stanley. You're gonna hear me say that I really like a lot of players in this class, and that's gonna happen. There's a lot more players to go through, but this guy is right up there with any of them. Probably one of the best tapes, easily top 3, easily top 5 in this recruiting class. A guy that technique, talent, ability is already at a college D1 level, in my opinion. I mean, I think Kyle Whittingham even foreshadowed it in his interview. This kid is a monster, bro. This kid is playing high level football in high school. This is Smith Snowden, DB out of Utah. Really good player, guys. You watch this kid cover people, and he moves so fluidly. He must study tape like a freaking fiend because he knows what receivers are going to do before they even do it. I mean, he is once he like I saw a post when he committed to us that some defensive coach in Utah mentioned that he is one of only 2 players that he had to game plan around for his offense because he was that impactful on defense. He is really good, guys. I would absolutely suggest you guys, if you'd like to go watch his tape on my channel and watch the video breakdown. One of my favorite players in this class for sure. Really good guy. And if you see him getting a good amount of reps as early as next year, do not be surprised. I think a lot of people are underrating just how impactful this guy could be right away. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I could absolutely, I mean, one day I really do expect him to be a superstar. I'm just saying next year, I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I wouldn't be shocked if this guy sees the field. Really good cover corner, not afraid to get dirty and, lay a hit when he has to, but awesome in coverage, guys. That's Smith Snowden. All right, and here is John Randle Jr. I don't believe he's actually related to the John Randle Jr., but his dad and uncle did play college football at a high level, really good college football players. But John Randle Jr. is a guy that just committed to us this morning, kind of just came out of nowhere. He is one of the 3 4-star running backs that committed to Utah. Yes, I will be doing a recruiting video on him. That will be coming out tomorrow sometime. Don't have an exact date for you or exact time, but it will be coming out. Really good player in John Randle. From what I see, is a guy that does get physical, looks a lot bigger than 6 foot 181. He looks thick in high school, and he looks like a menacing guy when he's running between the tackles. But his thing is he's not super fast out the gate. He's not slow at all, but once he gets going, man, you're not catching this guy. He's got a wild thing, man. Like it takes a little bit to get the motor going, but once it's going, this guy is flying downfield. Has a good 100-meter dash time as well. So really good player. I'll break down more about him when I do the recruiting video tomorrow, but a guy I'm excited about. So that's John Randle Jr. All right, guys, and here we go. Stanley Ross. I think that's how you say it. So he's a 3-star defensive lineman out of Kahuku High School in Hawaii. If you guys aren't aware, we got 3 players in this class out of Kahuku High School. It's like the premier football high school in Hawaii. really good football school. So this guy got invited to the 2022 Polynesian Bowl, two-time All-State, two-time All-Region, first team honoree. I mean, 17 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. So what I noticed when I watched Stanley Ross, a little bit of his film was at offensive line as well, if I remember correctly. The guy is stocky and uses his frame very good, like initial punch, initial throwing people around. Like he looks like he must be hard to move, and he is very strong. 6 foot, 286 pounds. That's a thick kid. That is a thick kid there, guys. So a guy that we're probably, you're gonna want to get a little, let him grow a bit. Like even if he doesn't get taller, get him even bigger to clog up those trenches. But looks like a player that could definitely be a playmaker for Utah and a guy I'm excited to get in that D line mix and get in that D line room. All right, and here is the next guy. This is Mike Mitchell. Oh man, if you guys want to see some amazing highlights, some amazing tape, go watch the video on Mike Mitchell. This kid is I mean, a lot of good, in Mike Mitchell's game. You take a look there. Finished high school career with 240 carries for 2,002 yards and 22 touchdowns in 9 100-yard games. I'm not surprised at all, guys. 8.3 yards a carry throughout his whole high school time. So that means even when he's like just getting to varsity, he's just racking up just crazy games. The guy is a battering ram. If he has you one-on-one in the open field, he's gonna lower his shoulder and make you look like a little kid, guys. 5'11, 206 as a high school senior, man. Imagine this guy 2 years from now, how thick he's about to be. And he is athletic. He is running like he is honestly right up there with the best tape in this class, hands down. His can go up against anybody's. It's really good tape. And not only can he run people over, dude, but if this guy gets a hole and gets an opportunity to take off, he's one of the fastest players in this class. If the tape is, I mean, on field speed, I mean, this guy flying downfield. He is a special talent, one of the 3 4-star running backs we picked up, and a guy I am really excited for. I could see him, very quickly being an impact player. I honestly, really, guys, I've watched a lot of tape, and I think I said it when I watched Mike Mitchell's video and broke down the film. The kid is really special. Some of the best tape I've ever watched. So make sure you guys check him out. Mike Mitchell, awesome, awesome guy, man. All right, guys, and here is Mikey Matthews. So he's a 4-star recruit with Rivals, a really good wide receiver, guys. Mikey Matthews feels like a guy that has a lot of the like technique and stuff you'd want from a receiver. Played in what seemed to be, like a fairly complicated offense. Just some of the schemes I saw them running were fairly complicated, and he understood them a lot. A lot of good jump balls on his tape, a lot of good returns on his tape, a lot of good just catches in general. I mean, like he's also once the ball is in his hands, he's really he feels like a guy that can do a lot. A gadget player type of guy, and that's not like an insult in the gadget player, but a guy that can just do a lot, like take a reverse. Like reminded me a lot of maybe like a Jalen Dixon or a Money Parks, a guy that can be a threat at receiver and also be a threat to motion in and get a handoff and make plays out of the backfield. And one thing I saw from him, there's a few highlights where I noticed it, where he would get a little seam and like just gun for it. And you saw like this gear that he has. If there's a really good hole, there's a gear he has that's really special. And if that can be channeled and developed, he's gonna be a mean player. He's gonna be a mean player either way. I'm sure he'll be competing for one of those receiver spots quite soon. Okay, this is Caleb Lomu. I'm sure you guys have heard of him before. He is really talented. He is a really good player. Caleb Lomu is a 4-star offensive tackle. That's a big deal, guys. We could use all the awesome offensive tackles possible. The number 21 offensive tackle in the country and the number 3 player in Arizona. The kid's a monster. I think the number one thing that stands out to me when I watch this guy's tape is just straight physicality. I mean, he gets in guys' face and just drives them into the dirt, throws them around, and makes plays. He is awesome. A team like Utah that really wants to run the ball is going to match perfectly with this guy. I mean, you take a look here. He's 6'5", 267. There's probably room for the with Caleb to add a year or two on the sideline getting the weight. But I mean, I'm talking this guy can do it. He's very, very good. And if he can get the size and mass to match the tenacity and technique that he brings to the table, he is not going to be a problem. He's going to be like a freaking unstoppable force, dude. Check out the tape on this kid. He is mean, throws people around real, real nasty. If you guys like that type of grinded out, rough and tough, rushing, run the ball down their throats type of football that Utah's kind of known for, right? This is your guy. Hopefully, in a couple of years, we see Caleb out there really looking great at offensive tackle. I think this guy's got a awesome future at Utah on the offensive line. All right, guys, here is Jonah lea'ea. Jonah lea'ea played at Bishop Gorman High School. This is one of the best football high schools in the entire country. It's one of those private, bring them in, develop them for college, NFL type of stuff. Bishop Gorman, I'm from Las Vegas originally, so I'm very familiar with Bishop Gorman. They're elite, elite. They make really good football teams look like they do not belong in the same realm as them. They're very good, and he was able to start for them. So really good team. Uh, Also with Jonah lea'ea, one thing I noticed on the tape, obviously I could talk about his school all day. So 6'4", 215, D line edge rusher type of guy. He's going to need to gain some weight if he's going to play D line edge rusher for Utah. But one thing you guys are going to like a lot if you have or are going to watch the tape at some point is his technique. He's really good, really disciplined player, does not get out of position, and really just I know that sounds simple, but it really is impressive with this guy. Like, doesn't let offensive tackles or anyone push him to the spot he shouldn't be in, stays in his gap and makes plays that way. I know that does sound simple, but it is really impressive. He has very high football IQ. Don't get me wrong, he's athletic as well, but I think the most impressive thing for me on Jonah lea'ea's tape is just how well he plays like sound, fundamental football, wraps up tackles well, stays in his lane, doesn't get out of position. And that's the type of stuff that's going to get you snaps in college. It's going to get you playing time early. So, as his size develops, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jonah lea'ea becomes a contributor on the field. Definitely a guy that I enjoyed the tape on as well. All right, guys, and we have hit about the halfway point of the video here. I hope you're enjoying it so far. If you haven't already, please do like the video. I can't imagine you're not enjoying it if you've gotten this deep into the video. Also, just a reminder, comment down below, guys. Who are your favorite players so far? Maybe take this as a midway point. Pick one guy that you enjoyed more than all the other players, if you have one so far. And then also make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot of content coming over the coming weeks. We're going to have a lot of fun, Rose Bowl stuff, transfer stuff, all that. But outside of that, let's get back to the video and let's finish breaking down the 2023 recruiting class. All right, CJ Jacobsen, 3-star tight end, played in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, a really good player and a guy that fits really well in Utah. If you watch his high school tape, he played a Brant Keithy style, Dalton Kincaid style tight end role where half the time he's at wide receiver. So he's going to transition really well into this offense and he'll understand a lot of stuff. And honestly, a playmaker at wide receiver slash tight end thing. So he is a guy that made plays. Like he contested catches, a guy that runs routes really well, can beat corners. Like if they try to put a big physical corner on him, it's going to be tough for that corner because this kid has the feet, has the route running ability to make plays. 6'4", 223. So definitely wants to get some size on him, before he's a consistent college starter. But he's right there. I mean, he's probably a year away from being a guy that could really impact the field. And that's not me saying he couldn't get playing time this year, but I could really see him being a guy that starts to rotate in at tight end quite soon in his college career. He brings a lot at what we like to do at tight end with the athleticism and the playmaking ability. That's CJ Jacobsen. Now here is Matiaki Hilu. Matiaki Hilu was the first commitment from the 2023 Utah Utes recruiting class. You could feel the swagger in that picture, huh? He's a playmaker for sure. So he's going to be going on his mission, I believe. But he is a guy that really lays the wood on defense. He looks to take your head off when he hits you and is a really good playmaker. He played running back. He was very good at running back and very good at linebacker, really good at both positions. I think from what Whittingham was saying is he's being brought in to be a linebacker, but this is a special talent, right? If he wants to go play running back, he can. He's a very good running back. I think this running back room is full of talent, and I think the linebacker room might have a little more opportunity for him. But outside of that, he's a really good player, guys, and really fits that physicality Utah likes to bring on defense. Hits really hard, guys. Can even play safety a little bit as well. He's not just a hard hitter. He can cover well. Really good player, Matiaki Hilu, a guy that I could see, rotating into linebacker sometime down the line, especially by the time he gets back from his mission. He'll probably have the size and be pretty ready to go. Jonathan Hall. Jonathan Hall is out of Houston, Texas, continuing that Houston to Utah pipeline we got going. Uh, First thing you notice about Jonathan Hall, he's a defensive back, but 6'1", 221. That guy's got that type of size coming out of high school. It says defensive back, and I think that's what he's planning on playing. But if you're already that big, man, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy transition to linebacker. I mean, look at him in the picture, dude. This guy looks like a damn wrecking ball. I mean, he could throw most safeties around that are sophomores or juniors in college. I mean, look at this guy. But yeah, the tape's good. Very solid coverage, good coverage, but very physical player. A guy that hits hard, wraps up well, makes tackles, but not terrible in coverage. Honestly, I'm just shocked as I look at this picture. He looks like a behemoth, man. He looks like he could definitely play linebacker in college. If not, maybe, transition to edge with the athleticism it takes to play safety. I mean, he could be great at edge if he gets another, 20, 30 pounds on him. That'd be awesome. That's Jonathan Hall. All right, this is Brock Fonoimoana, a four-star player, four-star. It says linebacker on the page here, and maybe that's a little insight for us, but I'm pretty sure that was just a typo. He's 6'1", 191 and listed at safety everywhere else. Maybe that's the plan for him, though. So Brock Fonoimoana, really good player, guys. You take a look here, two-way player in high school, seeing time at wide receiver and safety, basketball, track and field. Awesome kid too. 2022 Polynesian Bowl All-Star game. All state as a senior. He won the Manti Te'o co-winner at that award. So really good player. Another guy from what I saw in his tape is he's very technically sound, makes plays, gets interceptions, very versatile, doesn't find himself out of place a lot. I'm not sure if he's like a super high end athlete, but definitely athletic and definitely a guy that can make plays on the field. Brock's really good player. Like I said, four-star safety. Recently got moved up to that four-star and looks like a great player for the Utes. Oh, and if you want to see his film, check it out. It's on the channel. All right, Spencer Fano, 6'5", 264, the number 12 offensive tackle in the country and the number two player in all of Utah. Really good player in Spencer Fano. You watch the tape, he drives people into the dirt, makes D linemen have bad days, but is also very technically sound. Right? You watch his tape, there's plays where it doesn't look like he's doing a ton on the play, but he's really just following his assignment, moving his guy out of the way and not doing anything wild to get penalties. Just kind of like there's this one play where he just hits the guy under the shoulder pads, pushes him up, and then just turns him to the outside and it just completely clears the hole. Just an awesome play by Spencer. Really good player, guys. One of the best players we've ever gotten at Utah. I mean, we have like five guys on this list that are in the top 20, 25 best players we've ever gotten at Utah. Spencer's up there. I mean, he's really high. I forget what he is off the top of my head, but he's really high up there as one of the best players Utah's ever had. Um, Really good guy. If you guys aren't already familiar with him, you'll be seeing him on the field soon. I don't know exactly when, but he will be on the field soon. Clegg is a straight playmaker, the number 3 player in the state of Utah, right behind Spencer. 6A All-State selection, two-team All-Region first team, invited to the Polynesian Bowl All-Star game. 11 tackles for loss and 8 sacks out of 61 tackles as a senior, 6 sacks as a junior, competed in the 100 and 200-meter dash as an edge rusher, guys, 6'4", 235, competing in the 100-meter dash, and you can see it on tape. This guy flies off the edge, hits people hard in the backfield. Another guy that has really good tape. If you guys want to go watch the recruiting video breakdown I did on this kid, he is awesome. Really big time playmaker. Really enjoyed the film. And I see him, 6'4", 235 is a little small for an edge rusher, but he's coming into a really good edge rusher room. I mean, you think about that group, dude. We got Chase Kennedy. We got who else is there? We got a bunch of good guys now. I just can't think of everyone off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm blanking out on that. But he comes in, and honestly, I could see him and Chase Kennedy really terrorizing some backfields in the coming years. So that's Hunter Clegg. And as of making this video, for some reason, Kainoa Carvalho is not yet on the Utes website. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think he just officially signed or something. I don't know what's going on. But it does look like he has signed. He has posted it on his page that he's signed. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure everything's fine. They just haven't updated the website. This kid is a little stick of dynamite, man. He's a little guy. You can see it there, size-wise, not a huge guy, but he is a stick of dynamite, man. He will break tackles. He will catch screen passes. He will break them away. He will return punts, kicks. He's very fast, really good acceleration. A guy that, honestly, the rating he has a lot to do with his size, in my opinion. Really reminds me of like a faster Britton Covey. I don't know. Maybe he's not quite at the receiver skill right now of Britton Covey, but I think it's a good comparison. It's an easy one, but it's a good one. And I really like the kid, Kai Carvalho, uh, really athletic. Like I said, a really fast kid. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to light up the field, and he's going to be fireworks every time he's out there, and always has that potential to take it 100 yards to the house. That's Kainoa Kai Carvalho. All right, Owen Chambliss. Owen Chambliss is a 3-star linebacker out of Corona, California. So Owen is a unique one. He is a bit of a project, and that's not an insult to him. He's really, really athletic. I think he's got a lot of opportunity to develop as a football player from what I've seen on tape. And I think that's the plan with him. It's not a shot at him. I just think that's where he's at right now. But really, really athletic guy, very physical, hits hard. I think with him, though, he's going to be a guy that you might see become a big time playmaker in a couple years. Get the right coaching. I think Utah is a great fit for him. Come in here, get the right coaching, learn some of the skills and techniques that makes you a great linebacker. Spend a couple off seasons at the pro trenches and really develop as a linebacker. But definitely a guy that has huge upside, big time upside. CJ Blocker is one of the fastest players in the country, corner out of Houston, Texas. Blazing speed, guys. Like, really one of the fastest guys in the country. Really big time player, ranked by 24/7 as the number 17 quarterback in the country. He's Mr. Commit, decommit, recommit. We got I've one of the only recruits, the only guy I've made 2 recruiting videos on, because he committed to Utah, decommitted to Utah. But the cool thing is he was pursued by big names, like Alabama was offering CJ Blocker, but he decided to come back and commit to Utah because he saw the opportunity here. He super, super athletic, a lot of talent, still some room to improve, like on the skill set, but really good. The guy is physical and no one's outrunning him. Very good in coverage, very good instincts, jumps the ball. Some just little stuff that he could be working on to become a little better of a corner overall. But I think the high end and the upside with CJ Blocker is as high as you can imagine. You could be seeing him in the NFL draft in a few years. That's CJ Blocker. All right, and the final player on the list, we've got Roger Alderman here, 6'4", 254 pounds. So he's being brought in as a guard, and a lot of good technique on the tape. Very physical guy, a really good high school player. But obviously is going to need to put on some weight before he can play guard at the college football level. I'd say the low end for an offensive guard in college is maybe 290. So he's got a couple years of, getting on that college meal plan, doing that thing. But, you know, a guy that played both ways, good player, lettered in basketball, back to back, Mother Low League MVP. Not sure what that is, but guy looks like a solid player. Just needs to gain a lot of weight before he's in that starting lineup. All right, guys, and that is all the players in the 2023 recruiting class. I've got the YouTube channel up on the screen here. If you guys stay for a couple extra minutes here, I'm going to reveal who my top 3 recruits of the 2023 recruiting class are. So make sure you hang around for a minute. But before we do that, please do make sure you guys like the video. Helps the video, get spread and goes a long way. Also, make sure you guys comment down below. Who are your top 3 favorite players? Who are your top guys, your top one, whoever? I would just love to hear your guys' opinions. I know I'm excited about a ton of these recruits, and I enjoy hearing about what you guys think about them as well. So excited to read that in the comments. And then also, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. This is, in my opinion, the source for Utah Utes football. I spend a lot of time doing this, and I really enjoy sharing it with you guys. So I look forward to get building this community. I know there's a lot of people that are always in the videos, and it's awesome to see. So very cool. All right, so now let's talk about who my top 3 recruits are for the Utah Utes. So I'm not going to put them in any order, but Mike Mitchell is one of them. Mike Mitchell is one of the running backs I talked about earlier. I'm telling you guys, the tape was so good. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. He is ridiculously impressive. The next guy is going to be Smith Snowden. Smith Snowden, again, really good tape. Just a guy that was locking people down, flying over all over the field, and just a really, really impressive player in Smith Snowden. And then the final number one, who my third favorite player, not third, but my last of the 3 favorite players in this class is going to be Spencer Fano. Spencer Fano, really good technique, drives guys into the dirt, real physical, good pass sets. That's one of the big things is he does a decent amount of true pass sets and holds up real well, throws guys into the dirt. So those are my top 3 guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm excited to see it. That John Randle video will be coming soon. But outside of that, I am out of here, and go Utes.